Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Ernie C, the Gap Tooth Genius. This is going to be episode 183 of Keep Grinding the podcast. I am joined by my friend Damarius Akins. He's the head coach of women's basketball at Liberty High School. Coach, welcome to the show.
Man, happy to be here once again. I don't remember the other number we were on, but I'm happy to be back on.
This is your second time on, right?
Yeah, second time on.
Yeah, I remember this is like when I think my first year. Um, I'm sure I told this story, but when I first got hired for my first head coaching job, you were one of the people I called to kind of help me prepare and just kind of get your guidance on that. I'll
Yeah,
never forget that, man. I really appreciate you.
no problem, anytime.
Hey, man, this is gonna be your fifth year of you're entering your fifth year being the head coach at Liberty High School. 17 and 13 last year won the Division III Central Section Championship. This is your second in 3 years. Also won the Division II section in 2023. Coach of the Year. Coach, that's a resume, sir. How you looking to build on that going to year five?
Just improving our kids, man. It's all about progress. Like people always ask me how the team look, and I always the same answer. I don't know. As the season progressed, we're trying to peak at the right time. Start off early on, just trying to learn each other, trying to mend. Got a lot of new pieces, just trying to get everything so we can become one cohesive unit towards February.
Definitely, coach. When you have that type of success, what keeps you motivated to, you know, I think we keep grinding. Just we never get content. We always want more and more. But you know how it is with our coaching lives. Is what's the next step after that? We went two section titles in two section titles in 3 years. Reigning coach of the year. What's the motivation to just keep going?
It's the kids. It's seeing them progress, seeing them obtain goals they want to obtain. Kid Beyonce, you guys have at BC, it's kids like that, kids like the Ville that's at BC now. Seeing
Definitely.
those kids obtain the goal of playing the next level. And in our past, we got kids like Faith, and those kids are seeing them being able to accomplish what they want to do. And man, we have a plethora of kids that I know people don't get to see because they're not involved in sports, but the success that we've had in some of our kids of our program in the academic field, in the entrepreneurial field that they've been able to accomplish, it's remarkable if everybody knew exactly what was going on, not just athletic wise, but also in real life stuff.
Definitely, coach. I think with our student athletes, one question I think we don't talk about on this podcast, the last couple of coaches we had on, and it's the most important thing in the classroom. How do you help these kids just getting set up in the classroom, just making sure they're doing the best they can in that classroom?
It's
Student athlete is the most important thing that we as coaches preach to our kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's giving them the opportunity to go. Hey, there's after school tutoring. As much as coaches we hate for kids to miss practice, that's one of the things I don't touch. Right? If it's an academic situation, you got to go. You got to go to that. I want to get it handled. And the understanding with our grade point average, the things we try to obtain, it's a little bit higher than what the district requires.
Mhm.
Should be higher just because kids want to go to college, but every kid has their own limitations, and we understand that all kids are different. So we try to set a goal to where kids can obtain something that they can be on the progress, they can get into school, and just trying to stay on top of it, check on them, ask them questions during practice, how school's going, are you
Definitely.
having any issues, and trying to get those issues early on if you have to address something before it's too late.
And coach, with this upcoming year, I know, like I said, we had success last year, but this is a new year. What's the biggest lesson you learned from last year going to this year you think you're going to be able to utilize?
Just attention to detail and never underestimate your kids, man. I mean, people understand we put our kids because of my work schedule last year, dealing with all the issues with the fires and stuff. They
Mhm.
had some really, really tough weeks of me not being around a ton and throwing a lot on my staff and on the kids' laps of development. And I think it was a bit of a culture being where they were able to adjust to that. We didn't completely fall behind. And with the new seasons, just trying to adapt and teaching one work ethic is a huge issue that we want to make sure that we imply in our kids. And it's not just about basketball. We coach for your life, for life skills and things like that, that it's not going to be easy no matter what you're trying to obtain in this world. It's not going to be given to you and you got to come out and earn it.
Definitely, coach. With your culture, which is a great culture, how important are your assistants? I know that's something that, again, this is the coaching edition of Keep Grinding the podcast. We love our assistants. That is the foundation of all of our programs. What contributions do your assistants make? And just if you want to give them a shout out, that'd be great.
We have our two returning assistants, out of Lacefield and Stephen Rennick. Funny part about Stephen is Stephen actually has a better record than me coaching. So, and we also added our new addition. Most of you guys know Deja Wandig
Mhm.
is now on our staff. And, and up until last year, you realize how important those guys, all those girls and females were to our program. They've always been because development from the young stages of our young kids and as they begin to grow up, and you kind of see it as they go through the process. But our coaching staff is extremely important. They always have been. From back when we had Adrian and we had Carrie, there was also two important pieces to what we are today, and they contribute huge. Man, I can't do this alone. I lean on them and I count on them a lot, and they help me out a lot when we need it.
Definitely, Coach. I think one of the things that we're really looking forward to is the next group of kids that are coming from your program. Who are you excited to see, become a leader on your team this year, and who you're looking forward to seeing, break out this year?
I mean, everybody got the obvious one, like Hannah Davis is going to be a senior this year. She's a 4-year letterman on varsity. Seeing her improving more than what she did last year. We have Ellie Statler, a dynamic junior that's going to be a junior this year. Everybody forget that she's only be a
That's
junior.
crazy.
We have the addition of Aaliyah Escalera be actually eligible to play this season. A huge addition to what we're going to have coming on, and Amari Curry is also going to be back and ready to go. But we have a plethora of young kids. We have our one of our biggest leaders, Reagan Young. She's like that silent leader. Most
Mhm.
people don't know who she is, but she does a huge part in our program of making sure that we're in tune, making sure that everything's working. And we got a plethora of young kids. We got a lot of young kids, man, that have some talent, that have some ability.
And what are you, coach, just what are your practices looking like? I know one of the questions, again, just asking all the coaches, it's like the million-dollar question is, how do you make your practices embody the likeness and competitiveness of a game?
Uh,
That's something that we're always, just the riddle that we're all trying to solve all the time.
I think you have a combination of learning and raising intensity, right? So it has to be a segment of what we have to learn, where we have to teach and this and stuff. And then you got to put them in game type situations where you challenge them to do things. You're intertwine different teams, and some days some teams are better than the other team, and then you take one player that may be one of your better players, and you put on a weaker team to see how she's going to develop and perform. And I think you just kind of keep putting that work ethic in. So we're going to work hard. I don't care about the mistakes. I don't care about the errors. In basketball, there's a couple of things I guarantee is going to happen. You're going to make a mistake, all right, and you're going to turn the ball over. And it's how you react to those mistakes you do. And we don't want a reaction, right? We don't want a head drop. We don't want any of that stuff. It's the next play, move on. Let's continue to move on. Let's continue to grow.
Definitely, coach. With, your season's going to open up November 18th versus Taft.
Yeah.
What are the key things that, when winning league's probably on top of your list this year and repeating that section? What do you think that needs to happen in order to do things like that? And what other goals do you have this year that you would like to see from your team?
First off, is playing basketball the proper way. Offensively, being one unit, playing together, playing as a team. A bigger goal is that defensively, we want to be a really solid defensive team, where our defensive goals are the players that one group, one unit. We want to defend arguably better than we've ever defended in the past, and that's our main goal early offense. How good can we be defensively? Because we know as coaches, everybody goes to the park, throw the ball in the basket, they want to shoot, da da da, but how many of you want to work on what you're doing defensively? So early on, it's becoming a decent unit, taking all of our defensive principles and putting them into play and seeing if they can work. Offense is going to take care of itself. But if we can get some stops and build on that, I think that's where our goal is early.
And what are your defensive principles for your program, coach?
It's pressure, maintain control of the basketball, and eliminate easy opportunities to our opponents, and that's the goal, right? We want to take away all the easy chances to people, just make teams work, and that's the bottom line.
Definitely. I know we're excited. We've been talking the last couple of weeks just trying to get Liberty to the Hill.
Yeah.
That's the game that we're really excited about. We haven't had that in years. Just to have, a opponent like you come to the east side and just really we support each other's programs and we're really excited for that. What other games are you really excited for this upcoming season on your schedule, coach?
I think early on, we have a Tehachapi game that we've been trying to schedule for. I think me and Coach Perkins, we try to put this together. Every time we try to do it, something falls through.
Definitely.
So we finally was able to get it. They came to us a couple of years back, so now we finally get an opportunity to go up there and then play them and every one of the teams we played in the Valley a few couple years ago. So in our league, man, all of our
Tough.
league is just tough, and
Definitely.
we tell people from, I mean, even from Stockdale to Centennial to Frontier to Garces to us, we just have a tough league. We're the SEC, quote unquote, of high school basketball here in Bakersfield, where there's no easy night. And as we watched over the past years, anybody wins on any night. You have a rough night, you can possibly lose that game. So our league is always going to be high on our priority that we're going to play. But we got games out in Redondo that we're going to play some teams from out there. North Torrance is going to be a team that's going to give us a strong challenge, and Pacific Palisades is another team we're going to play
Awesome.
that's going to give us a challenge. And once we get down to San Diego, they haven't released our schedule yet, but it's the same situation, playing a lot of those tough teams from out there. So this season should be fun.
How important is it to get your team in tournaments out of town like that and just that caliber tournament? Not a lot of teams could do that in Bakersfield. How important is it for you and your program and your team?
I think it's huge. I think where we want to go as far as the full season goes, especially hopefully making a run and getting an opportunity to play in the state tournament. I wanted to be a culture shock to them, and that goes from the level of competition to the officiating. It's different once you get out of Bakersfield, and I think they can have an opportunity to see it early on and understand it. So when we maybe do hit it back in the end of February, early March, it's not a shock to them. They played against that talent, and just to get outside the spectrum and see girls play basketball a little different than we play here in Kern County.
And coach, I know one thing we have in common too, just advocating for this girls basketball game. It's a beautiful game.
Mm-hmm.
What's been your biggest motivation to continue to do that? I know for myself, I started off with boys basketball, and once I got my first chance at coaching girls basketball, I never looked back. What's your motivation to keep getting back to the game and just keep elevating it? It's at its all-time high in popularity, and that, in Bakersfield, I think it's catching on. We have a quality basketball here with girls basketball. What's your motivation for, just keep raising the bar?
I think women's basketball is probably your purest form of basketball you're gonna find. I think as far as skill wise goes, the women's basketball game is some of the highly most skilled players you're going to see. And I know everybody look, oh, we can't dunk, but we're dunking now in women's basketball games. We're throwing lobs now in women's basketball games. I think we're starting to catch up. And no, I'm not that guy to be like, oh, women's team can beat the men's team. No, I'm not that guy. But I think the game itself is so pure and it's fun to watch. And you watch these girls how they develop their skills over the years, and they've gotten better and they continue to get better. And just watching that, man, I enjoy watching good women's basketball. It's fun to watch the execution, the way they run offenses, the way they can shoot, the way they can play, the way they see, and some of the girls that are really smart, the way they see things on the floor. I think it kind of sets itself aside from the men's game. I think the men's game shifted more towards the one-on-one thing, right? Everybody want to get in their bag, right? So I think in the girls' side, ain't not everybody not in their bag, but we still have to play a little bit of a team basketball game.
Oh, definitely, man. It's definitely like you said, fundamentals is like my number one thing, and it's beautiful to see. Coach, and just being at BC now, it's an honor to have two of your girls there. Shout out to Beyonce and Nevaeh, awesome kids, man. And you coming out and support them, I know that means so much to them, man. I think that's really pushing the your program as family, and I think that's so important. And how much does that mean to you, just giving and seeing your players move on? And what do you want your players to take from your program, even if it's next level of basketball or just in life?
Hard work, earning it, right? I think
Yes.
got off the phone call with Faith Curry a little bit ago, and we discussed her playing time and how she's earned her playing time and continue to earn more playing time as the season go on. And your podcast is keep grinding. The reason his name is that because you have to do that. That's what it's going to take to accomplish your goals. No matter where you're at in life, at some point in time, you're going to hit a hiccup where I really got to work to obtain what I want to try to get to. And outside of basketball, it's just teaching them that, right? It's getting out of the mindset of even through our conditioning programs. It's how much of it is mental and how much of it is physical. Teaching that, hey, it's probably 20% physical and you think you're killing yourself, and it's 80% mental. You can actually accomplish it if you put your mind to it, and that's life. You're going to hit it. If you really want to do something, put your mind to it, and you got a good chance of getting it done.
No, 100% coach. I love it, man. And I know definitely I'll have some time to go see some Liberty games. It's been a while since I had that freedom. I will definitely be out there. Is there any shout out to anybody, anything else you'd like to, give to the people of the podcast who are watching for the first time?
Man, I give a shout out to you. I mean, you've been supporting me, man, for a long time, and even to the point where you're coaching, bring your girls to Liberty games, give them the opportunity not only support and cheer us on, but grab some nuggets. And man, I appreciated seeing you in the stands and supporting. I just know people to come watch Bakersfield girls basketball. I think they are missing out when they don't go see, and it's not just Liberty, man. It's a plethora of schools around the county that I think people really need to pay attention to. You need to go watch it, and at all different levels, I think people are missing out when they don't come watch it. And one thing I hate to see is when I go watch a girls' game, we don't have a bunch of people in the stands. I think we need more support on the girls' side of basketball from Kern County. Come out, support us, see the product we're putting on the floor, and see the effort that all these kids are trying to do. They're all trying to attain the same goal at the end of the season. And I think we need to honor that and come out and support them.
100%, coach. You hit it spot on, man.
Yeah.
So, sir, that's episode 183. Demarius Akins, fifth year. Good luck, coach, and we'll be rooting for those Patriots, man.
I appreciate it, man. And you guys keep doing what you're doing, man. I love what you guys are doing with the podcast. Love what you guys are doing up at the Hill. Love what you guys are doing up at BC. I think
Hey,
that's a big deal. And I big shout out to Grant at BC, man, bringing in a bunch of local talent and a bunch of girls that can play, that can hoop, and to these girls, to these programs that are open to sending their girls to BC and allowing them, seeing them grow and things like that, especially with the changing of all the scholarships and NIL and all these different things happening in college. Junior college has started to become a really, really big deal to basketball. So seeing BC putting a product on the floor that, man, that's entertaining to watch, and the girls can play.
hey,
And I think more people need to understand that, and we can keep a lot of these kids local and put them in programs locally that can help them succeed in the future. We don't always have to ship our kids off, especially in the JC level. We ain't got to ship our kids off as much as we have a program in town that's producing, that's teaching kids to play basketball the right way, and that's actually doing good. So shout out to Grant, shout out to Kel, yourself.
hey.
You guys doing a really good job.
And man, we're talking to Coach Grant. It's a vessel for these kids in Bakersfield, man.
Yeah,
That's to continue to play the game they love, and you know how it is. Anything that's above, anytime you can play anything past high school, it's a blessing. So I'm really, really excited to be a part of it, and I hope to see more of your kids come through, and I'll definitely be out there checking them out, man.
man. Anytime, anything you guys need from me, man, feel free to ask. I'm always available.
Always.
That new facility you guys got out there, man, is lovely at the rack. So that's something to come watch too. And then yeah, dude, just come out and support not only high school, but come out and support BC basketball. And let's go and let's get these kids and let's put them in an atmosphere, man, where they can enjoy it, where they're having a good time. And to everybody in Kern County, man, it's when you're there and we're supporting these kids, they see it, they enjoy it, they up the level of their play, they want to put on the show for everybody. So let's come out, let's give them an opportunity to put a show on, let's check it out, let's watch it.
Hey, man, that home game that I seen it, man. Well, it sucks Saturday. Saturday, I'm doing the gigs and everything, but
Yeah.
it looked packed. And
Oh,
that's
it
what we
was
need for the boys and girls game, man. Because
it,
Coach McCall got a bunch of locals in that squad too, man. A lot of guys that we heard from throughout the
he,
last
he
couple of years.
he bought them in, and everybody's asking about, we want everybody want to go to college, and well, McCall's giving guys opportunities to come prove themselves.
Oh
And
my,
man, just that game, man, that game, the way it was in overtime and the way it was going, and man, it was, as a former basketball player, it was fun to watch, and it was fun to watch those guys at that level execute, and it gives guys a lot of opportunities to see, like, JC basketball is real. It's nothing. And I go, and crazy may sound, I go, it's harder at that JC level than when you get to some of the highest levels, because all those kids are trying to get somewhere.
yeah.
And most of those kids can play at a very, very high level. And that's when you talk about separations between levels, when you go JC, NAIA, D3, D2,
Mhm.
that's not a huge gap. All right. So there's a lot of JC kids that can play D2 right now. That's not a huge gap. So make sure everybody's seeing. I'm a JC product kid. Make sure that everybody sees the game on both sides. Understand that this is good basketball. And don't anytime you get an opportunity, no matter what level it is, you get an opportunity to play after high school. You're in a very, very small percentage of people that have the opportunity to do that. I mean, when you look at the numbers, the percentages, and it's extremely low.
Very,
Uh, And
Right.
so you look at a team of 15 people, maybe one or two off that team would have the opportunity to play. So I think kids need to look at that and say, you know what? If I get a chance to play at the next level, no matter what it is, I want to take it. I want to give it my best, give it my all.
I went down to my first tournament, my first JC tournament. The kids up and down this state. There's some ballers out here, and then this
But
it was really like whoa. They're older, and they're hungry. They want that. They want to keep their spot. They want to get to that next level, and it can be intimidating at times. I can imagine if I was, 18 fresh out of high school and have to go play against these vets who are, I bet you some of them 21, 22.
mhm.
Some of these JCs out here, man, are just stacked with a lot of talent. And like you said, yeah, you gotta take advantage of your opportunity. This not a high percentage of kids who get the
No.
opportunity to do this. And it was
And for
very, very surreal to see, like, whoa, there's a lot of talent in this state in girls basketball. And it makes me happy, but it's like, whoa, that's a lot of competition out there.
Yeah, when you look around and you see the differences in the levels, right? We both watch D1 games, and here in town we have a D1 school here in town, Cal State Bakersfield, and then we have,
Hmm.
we have the JC, and then right up the street we have a D2 and FPU, and you
Hmm.
start watching the levels of play, and you go, well, that girl's at JC, but I watched that girl play D1, and man, they're pretty close. Or
Yeah.
you watch that girl at D2 going, and now with the portal and NIL it's changing. It's just changed the full narrative of where kids can go. And you got a lot of kids that are D1 kids. They get on go what? I want to have some fun. I want to be something on my team. So I go down to D2 level. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, like she's really nice or he's really nice, and you'll get to see it. But once again, they're taking the opportunity to say, I'm just going to go compete. I'm going to try to get my education paid for, which is the most important. If you can get a free education by playing sports, by all means, no matter what program you're at, you need to go do it. Don't pass up the opportunity to get free schooling because I thought I was at this level. Well, this level's offering you a free scholarship, or they offer you a majority paid for tuition or some form. Take it and accept it, and go, man, go enjoy it. There's nothing like being a college athlete,
Hmm.
and these kids have to understand that you can't replace it. When it's done, and you're
Yeah.
gonna miss it. But there's nothing like being a college athlete, and you get the perks, right? But there's nothing better than being. You thought high school was great. He's like, oh, it's nothing like being a high school athlete. Wait till you get to college, and then you get to experience that. There's no experience like being a college athlete. So I hope a lot of kids, more kids, want to get out there and get that and enjoy it.
Definitely, man. No, it's very like I said, it's a very surreal experience, man. Just coming from, from the foothill that, we kind of transformed and created and, have this foundation now going to BC. There's the different speed, a different competition, but it's still the same thing essentially. The fundamentals and the free throws matter, the missed layups matter. It's all the same, but just there's competition out there, and I love seeing it, man. I feel like I'm at a coaching clinic every day, at a practice or at a game. Just so much to learn. And it's like I feel like I'm in college right now for coaching, dude. I really do. It's such a beautiful thing, man.
I mean, and it's not learning. I was in Louisiana a few weeks ago, and I went and sat down with some coaches out there. They wanted to pick my brain, and I'm like, it's a different nature, so I'm digging in. And we went
Yes.
from I was going to meet with the kids and talk for 20 minutes to me and these four coaches having this 2.5 hour coaching meeting, and we ended up with a whiteboard and some markers, and we all of a sudden we're just dived into it. And if we look, we're like, bro, it's 7:30, and we
Yeah.
started this thing a little after a little before 5, but it was just enjoying that and getting the chance to talk to a group of coaches that seen things from a completely different light from what they had out in my home state, and to having the chance to sit with them and learn, right? And it
Yes,
was
man.
and no matter what your success level, I always tell I can learn something from everybody. And I listen and I talk, and it's not, you may give me an hour speech, but there may be something you said for 45 seconds that I'll grasp and I'll
Mhm.
hold on to it, and it may not come, it may come in handy 2 years from now. I'll be like, you know what? When I talked to Ernie back in 2025, he said this, and it's happening now in 28, and I got to apply it. So it's an opportunity I think we always have where we can learn. I mean, we're around a good group of coaches. There's a lot of good coaches here in Bakersfield. We're around a lot of good people that we can pull stuff from. And I just think that we can come together and have Bakersfield. My goal is one, college coaches stop in Bakersfield, and that
Yes.
was a huge goal,
Yep.
was to was to have them stopping in Bakersfield and taking a look at our kids and not skipping over the valley to stay and land in LA and land in the Bay Area. No, we got airports in Bakersfield and Fresno. Y'all can fly here and come take a look at our kids and get something out. So hopefully we can get more coaches in our cities and stuff to take a look at our players.
And that's kind of the biggest thing too, with Coach Grant and just being able to help with their social media is like this is their brand because now again, like you said, we are in the era of kids need our brands now. They're
Yeah.
creating their own brand. And if I can help in any way for girls basketball, not even just our kids, but just to elevate the game, I want another program to say, oh, we need to do that. Like this.
Don't put that out there, man. Everybody gonna be calling you because your social media post at BC is
Man, dude, man,
crazy.
that's how it was with that's how it was with the Hill too. It was, I think we elevated, and that's like that's what we want to do. I remember like, oh yeah, that's not copying, yo. It's kind of we're elevating, we're raising the game, we're raising the bar. And if there's someone who does it better than us, think well now let's go chase that bar.
Yeah.
Like I love that mentality of just it's all for the game. It's of course it's for our programs, but it's for the girls' game.
I think
And
it's important you're doing that with the Hill. For us, we have Curry Customs with the White Curry. He's doing a lot of our social
yeah,
media stuff and
love
our dialing of our program and putting stuff together like that. But right now is what the kids like, and I think you're having to adjust as coaches as well to the kids. They're not the same. They're not the kids from 2015 and 2017 or
it.
2018 when I was at BHS. These kids are all different here now, and for the good, right? It's adapting. I think as coaches, we have to adapt. We have to learn the way of the world, how these kids are starting the process. I got talking to Buddy last night. One thing that we didn't have to deal with that these guys are doing now is social media,
Yes.
and that's a big deal with not only recruitment but the mentality, their mental state. I think social media plays a big part in the mental capability of our kids. I think it shifts the program from what we had to deal with 15, 20 years ago. I couldn't imagine having to deal with Instagram as a player. And I know these kids, it's the highlight is, am I going to go viral? Did
Yes.
she break my ankles or did she do this?
Yes.
And immediately, if you talk to kids, that's in their head, right? When
Mm-hmm.
something bad happens on the basketball floor, they go social media real quick. It's
So
like, don't,
fast.
I
Yeah.
hope that don't get out. Or when they get home from the game, that's the first thing they're looking for, good or bad. They do some good, they're looking forward to be on social media. So
Yeah, for
as
sure.
coaches, understanding that that's the life that we are now, and these kids, they're playing into it and they have to understand. So I think it's good for the game. I think putting stuff out on X and Instagram and I don't do Facebook, but Facebook and all this
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I think it's good and it helps the game grow. And not only that, it helps our kids get seen. So I think the more that we people like yourself or what you guys are doing at BC, I don't know how you do this stuff so fast.
That's
Dude,
what,
I'll see you shoot
man.
pictures and I'm like 30 minutes later, it's a video up and it's like jobbing. So man, kudos to you on what you're doing on the social media aspect. That's huge.
It's man, I work like even with the this is kind of like besides basketball. Even with a couple of the boxing things we got going on
Mhm.
for kids, that's fat. Like I tell them, like we got to work fast because if I don't do it today, I'll forget. It just piles on, and I don't like to pile on stuff. Just the way I run my business with DJing, it's like, dude, we just got to do this. But just
Yeah.
I kind of have it's all about the vision, you know. I don't like to think a lot when I'm doing stuff, and Irv's taught me a lot too. Shout out to Coach Irv at the Hill too, and just having him always, I'm always just have an ear and even constructive criticism is great
Yeah.
too, you know. Someone like him he's helped us so much behind the scenes, and now that he's coaching with us, and yeah, man, it's a fast paced environment that I like to run, but it's good, man. It's good for the game. I wanted to ask Coach, how do you battle? I know it's the kind of the cat's out the bag, right? We can't put this thing back in with social media.
Yeah.
How do you help your players battle that, especially on game day? They're so locked in on their phones and they're looking, they're worried about who they're playing. They're looking at girls' highlights, looking at records. Like, do you have a no phone before an hour before the game, or what's the kind of the remedy for that, you think?
They don't know about that hour yet, but it's happening. So they try to get them to put it down, get away from it.
Yeah.
Mentally, some of the studies have shown that I've been reading about that it helps clear your brain. Put your phone down for an hour for the game time. Don't pick it up. Don't talk to it. We kind of do it in practice where we don't have, I don't want to see any phones being picked up
Mhm.
in practice. I don't want to see put your phone up, put it up. When somebody alarm goes off in practice or the phone rings, everybody getting quiet and they're looking like, uh-oh, right? Because I'm looking like, whose phone is it, right? So
Yeah,
it's a
sure.
distraction, but in the end, we try to separate them from the beginning of the game. We want to, hey, let's put it aside. Let's let it go. Let's let it be because I think we saw in the LSU game the other night versus Charlotte, it was some social media posts that got put out that
Mhm.
changed the way that game was played.
Mhm.
And for the good and the bad, right? I mean, LSU
Definitely.
ends up winning by I think almost 50,
Hmm.
because they were what? They were upset because of some social media posts that they saw. And I go, that changes the narrative of the game. It's
Hmm.
when we grew up, it was if I had something to say about you during the game, I usually said it during the game.
Definitely.
Now you said the day before, you posted real quick and hit that button and it's out to everybody. So just trying to get them to pull away from it and say, hey man, listen, after the game's over with, feel free to grab your phone, do what you want to do. The girls know my biggest pet peeve is I don't want to see a highlight if we lose. I do not want to see you. Do not post a highlight if we lose a game. I don't want to see you doing that.
Yes, man.
It's kind of selfish, right?
Yeah, but yes.
Yeah. So if we win the game, post what you want. Post the
Exactly.
highlights. But if we lose, I got to think about what I'm posting. And secondly, understanding your social media account got to be clean.
Oh yeah.
Because the first thing these colleges do is they go to your social media page, right? And it tells a lot about who you are as a person when I begin to look onto your social media and what are you about, right? Especially if it's an open social media account, right? And someone tells me, girls, hey, you need to have a personal social media and a
Mhm.
basketball social media. And
Definitely.
your basketball social media should be exactly what it is. It is a basketball page. It's what you want people to look at. So I mean, it's a world that I think is still evolving. Please don't start throwing AI into the picture.
Man,
That
dude,
that's
it's
a
a
whole
whole nother
nother
beast, man.
that's a monster. My wife is getting big into it, and she's working with it right now, and it's a whole nother monster that I'm currently learning a lot about. It changed the table. It changed the table for me. I'm starting to see coaching.
Mhm.
It's changing the table for coaching. I don't know if people are starting to recognize that. It's changing the table for where our kids are learning. It's
Mhm.
changing the way for conditioning, for training, all of that stuff. It
Mhm.
changes the narrative for everything. And people thought Google was bad, right? Everybody was like, you just Google it. Now I don't even have to Google it. I can just ask a question.
And it's gonna, yeah. And you think, talk about working fast. AI is evolving every day at rates that we never thought it was gonna happen. And what ways do you think it can improve coaching, coach?
I mean, it was funny. I was having a conversation with a friend last night. We're talking about it, and you just pretty much throw a question out there, right? And you just say, "Hey, I'm doing a podcast with Ernie. I really want to dig into what he's talking about." And the last time I watched him talk about podcasts, he asked these questions: "What are some things
Mhm.
I should talk about?" I mean, it just gives you a plethora of information. And
Definitely.
with coaching, I think it's the same way. I think you can take your players in detail and break down things of what we need to work on and input and stats and things like that of that nature. And figuring that part out. Hey, if a kid's doing this and this and shooting this and playing this and she's scoring here and scoring there, what type of system does she fit better in,
That's
right? And it'll throw it out to you that she does better in this way. So I'm watching some of the NBA games, and there was a play that happened the other night. I was watching. I go, analytics was a big thing that came up about 7, 8 years ago, and
yes.
I think now it's going to shift to AI. Right? Everything was analytics, and I think now the game is going to shift to AI. And talk to a friend. I'm 100% sure that these professional sports have a AI guy
For
that
sure.
is sitting back and he's doing this AI stuff for these teams and giving these coaches and programs information. And it's no longer going to be the analytics say do X, Y, and Z. It's going to be like, no, AI is telling me that we should shoot more threes and less twos, or we should do this, X, Y, and Z. So I think that's going to be the shift. I think analytics will turn into AI.
I think, well, what I was thinking too, maybe the route is, I don't know if this is like a good thing for the game, but how do I stop this person from doing X, Y, Z in the game? What would be the best strategy for that? And AI could give you that, and it's maybe it's a cheat code, and I don't know if that's good for the game.
And,
But
and like I said, but I
yeah,
mean, everybody has access, right? And that's what we
yeah,
talk
for
about
sure.
growing as coaches, right? Analytics, nobody wanted to use it, and then Steve Kerr started using it a ton back when the Warriors when they run. You're like, well, they're shooting 30 some threes a night, and you hear the old guys like they shoot too many threes. I'm like, if you look at what they're saying, it actually makes sense, right?
Mhm.
And so I mean, and everybody had access to analytics. Some people didn't like it. Some
Mhm.
people did, and now everybody uses analytics to play any type of sports, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. Is like, where do we position or where do we stand? What are the chances of this particular player getting a hit if I pitch to him? comparable to if I don't pitch to him, or should I shoot more threes, or do I go for it on fourth and three? So I
Yeah.
think the analytics played that role, and I think AI is going to be the same situation. It's going to be, hey, this team, hey, predominantly on this position session, they're going to do this.
This,
So
yeah.
you should probably do this. So, but it's is it a cheat code if we all have access to it? I don't think so. I just think it's who decides to use it at what point in time.
That's man. What a time we live in, right, Coach?
It's 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 beautiful. I'm enjoying it, man. It's I like the growth where we're going. I like the dynamic where we're shifting. I just hope the kids continue to get better and just continue to working hard and earn what they deserve. Right, you get NIL deals, you earn it, you deserve it. These kids keep working towards your goals and keep obtaining what they want to get.
I love it, Coach. I appreciate you taking your time out. I know right now we're about to get back on this grind this week. It's a big week for a lot of schools out here, and good luck on your season. Hopefully, we can talk at the end of the year when you got another section.
Man,
Would
that's
love
the
to have
goal.
you. I know you did that for me. We just was that I think that was the beginning of the year, but we
Yeah.
need to do that. We can celebrate and talk a little bit more. And I appreciate you coming on, keep grinding the podcast.
Keep doing your thing, brother. Keep working hard. Keep trying to keep growing. Keep making everything work, man. Good luck to you guys in the future.
Yes, sir. Coach DA, episode 183, and we out.